Hi, I here. This is a reading for the sign of Sagittarius. We're going to do a Celtic cross spread with the Thoth deck, and then we're going to pull 3 cards from the Shadow deck to see if there's any confirmations or background emotions or anything else we need to be aware of that doesn't come through in the main reading. So let's just see what happens. Alright, so let us see what is going on in the world of Sagittarius today. Let's channel the energy of the sign of Sagittarius. That can be your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, however Sagittarian fits into your chart. You can use that as a way to color or texture how this message should sort of resonate with you. And if the message does not resonate with you, if there is anything that doesn't seem like it fits, don't try to force it. Always use your best judgment, your own intuition, to figure out how this message should come through to you. And if it doesn't, then you can always check your other placements, or you can just stick around and see what's going on with your fellow Sagittarians. All right, so, but the key thing is don't try to force anything. Don't try to make things fit. Always let the message come through naturally as it seems most appropriate for you and your situation. So this is a general reading, so I may try to be a little vague about certain things, and that's intentional. That's so you can sort of decide for yourself how best to fit this in with your personal situation in whatever context makes sense for you. But again, don't force things. Just let what is going to happen come through naturally, and just be receptive to whatever information you need to receive. And that's how we'll go through our reading today. So I hope you're having a good day. I hope you're enjoying yourself. I hope that you have had a good productive day or a restful day, whatever it is that you were trying to achieve. And if you're watching this in the morning, I hope that whatever goals you have set, be them getting things done or just relaxing and recharging, I hope that you're able to achieve that. So, okay. So, all my Sagittarians out there, let's see what we have for you today. Let's see if we can get any good information or insights about what you should be maybe looking forward to or processing, or, let's just get a sense of what things we need to be thinking about today. Let's see what we got. Ace of Swords, nice new clarity. Okay, that's good. Ace is always a nice way to start. Crossed by a 5 of Pentacles, or discs. Preceded by the Death card. Followed by the 8 of Cups. In your unconscious energy, we have the 4 of Discs. We have the Queen of Wands standing above everything in our conscious energy, what we're observing and looking towards. Your present energy, we have a 6 of Swords. And your environment, we have the Moon. And what you are worried about, what you don't want, or your challenge, we have the Ace of Wands. And the likely outcome is the 9 of Pentacles. Okay, so the thing that stands out to me immediately is being crossed by the 5, but sort of concluding everything with a 9. And having 2 aces here along the way is also very nice. So we'll get a sense in a minute for what all of this means together. We're going to check after we go through this main reading what's on the bottom side of this deck, and that'll represent what we don't see coming. But let's get some context for that so we can better understand how to, make sense of whatever it is that's coming into our blind spot here. So before we do the main reading, let's get a sense of all the cards that are here on the table. Let's get a sense of the sort of balance of energy. We have in terms of major arcana, we have the Death card and the Moon. So that's 2 major arcana. That's not so bad. A little on the light side there, but that's not bad. In terms of our court cards, it looks like we have just the one. We have the Queen of Wands standing up there, sort of looking over the whole rest of the reading. Very commanding. So she's almost like a sun that we're looking towards. That's sort of raining down above us. So hopefully she can give us some nice, encouraging firepower to sort of progress our way through whatever messages we've got here. In terms of the minor arcana, it looks like we have, in terms of discs, we have 1, 2, 3. In terms of air energy, we have 2 from the Suit of Swords. For water energy, we've got the Eight of Cups, and for fire, we have the Queen of Wands and the Ace of Wands. So fairly balanced, a little bit of everything here. Looks like we've got, like I said, we have more earth than anything else, but everything else seems to be fairly balanced. A little light, I guess, on the water energy, but everything seems to be pretty evenly distributed here. So this is a nice balanced reading. There's no real lack of anything. Only the one court card, maybe we could say that. But this seems pretty nice and even here. So let's get a sense of what these cards are trying to say sort of together. Here, as I said, we start with the Ace of Swords. So this is a sort of, a sharp, clear thought that is now being brought forward to us, whether it's something you've been working towards or something new that is coming up. In your present moment, I feel there is a sort of nice moment of clarity about whatever the rest of this situation is going to be. And for this to be crossed here by the Five of Pentacles, I feel like what this moment of clarity is about is probably related to something financial or work related. And with this being a Five of Discs, the worry card, perhaps you're getting some nice new insight about how to properly deal with some sort of financial issue. Or maybe you're struggling with something at work, but something in your, in the way that you make money is what I'm sensing. You're getting some new insight. And having this all happen in front of the Death card makes me feel that what is probably happening is you're coming out of some, previous situation, whether it was a previous job or a previous relationship or, just something that was a very sort of central aspect of, your daily life. It's closing out and it's ending and being left behind. And in this transition from whatever this past previous situation or circumstance was, you are now thinking about the future, what is coming forward for you. And I think right now you're in this period of trying to process how to handle the changes financially or structurally. Maybe you're moving to a new home, or maybe you're moving to a new department, a new office or something. But some kind of change is altering the way your current life is being lived, and I think you are now trying to think through the details of how do I make this all fit in and work towards the future. Now, I don't think this is a serious major concern in terms of like, how am I going to make all of this work, or is everything going to fall apart? There's no tower falling here. This is the Death card. This is the ending and beginning of something new. And the fact that you're here in the bottom have this Four of Discs, this feels to me like you have a good solid foundation. And so you're not worried so much in, am I going to be able to make this happen? But maybe, how do I make this happen in the best way? There's some bumps in the roads in this transition. You're moving forward, you're strong, you're confident, you have your Ace of Swords to protect you and, as your weapon as you push forward into whatever new difficulties are arising. But you're well protected. You're not going out into the world without a suit of armor on. You know what you're doing. You're just now dealing with this actual change. And I like that the Queen of Swords actually is sitting up here. We'll come to the future in a minute, but I like here that we have a good, strong, solid financial foundation. You probably have a good, solid nest egg. You're someone who's put in the time to sort of make sure that as this change is occurring, you're ready for it. This is not something that was going to come out and blindside you. And with the Queen of Wands up there, you've got the sort of power and passion and commanding energy to be able to handle these new unforeseen situations. I mean, you're a Sagittarian. You're ready to go out and fight this adventure and experience whatever new thing is being presented to you. And you're just letting go and trying to actually get through the process of, let's do the next stage now. And here in the future with the Eight of Cups, this is a card of, again, sort of letting go of things. So it feels, again, like the Death card. The Death card here is really saying that whatever this previous project was that ended, I think you're going to learn lessons from whatever it is that was closing out as your last chapter of, again, whatever this situation was. The ending of this previous situation is the fertile ground from which you can build new opportunities and learn lessons that are going to guide you forward. And this here, Eight of Cups in the future, though, this is a different kind of letting go. This is a letting go in a sense that there are certain maybe emotional attachments to whatever the previous thing was that you were dealing with that are not going to be carried forward with you. So this is the soil from which you can grow, and maybe those previous memories are, it's emotional water that you can pour on the garden that you're growing things out of. The death card is sort of the manure here, the sort of earthy breeding ground for learning new lessons and and dealing with new opportunities. You're going to want to water that with this extra emotional energy. And I think what's going to happen here is with these extra cups that you have, this is not like a disastrous, something horrible has happened to me. It's this sort of nice realization that there are certain things that as I progress forward, I'm going to leave them behind. And again, I like this metaphor that you can pour out the unnecessary water in those cups to help water these plants that are helping you grow this new thing that is maybe at first not feeling like it's going to be the happiest, most exciting new beginning, but with this solid foundation and the energy of the Queen here, I think you're well prepared to handle whatever is going to happen ahead. But it almost feels like I feel like we're going to grow something out of this new idea or opportunity, and from this concern here. Again, this is like the fuel, the manure of the past that you're going to be planting something in. And here in the future, you're going to be letting go of your attachments that are not necessary anymore as the water to fuel and help water these plants here that are going to grow. And this nice solid foundation is going to be what helps these seeds then get the energy from so this is sort of the garden itself, the manure that's growing it, the water that is being used to nurture this growth. And here we have the Queen up top giving this nice sun-like energy that's going to help something grow out of whatever these initial setbacks and concerns are for you. So I feel like a real good sense of future growth here. Again, you will need to let some things go, but it's going to be things you're ready to let go of, things you realize are not necessary for you. And that, again, is more like the Death card, more fuel for pushing this whole thing forward into whatever the next new project will be. And again, I think this actually fits really nice here with the Six of Swords, the Science card. So again, we are building upon a strong foundation and previous endings that are giving us life lessons where we can now reevaluate and use our mind to figure out the most efficient way to push into the new situation that is now happening here. So this is the spark of this new idea. This is the refinement of that new idea. And I think as you get the new idea, the concerns that arise are then going to have to require some reevaluation. But again, the Death and the Eight of Cups are going to be things that you can pull from with the confidence of the Queen of Wands to take a good idea and build upon it, build on this good foundation with new, stronger, even better ideas. Now, where those ideas take you, of course, is always a little bit scary, and that's why in your environment we have the Moon. Again, I feel like this comes back to the worry. So as this new, whatever this is for you, is unfolding, as you're building this new thing from this foundation of the past, again, I think the biggest thing that you're almost sort of having to deal with is the uncertainty of how do I do this well. You're not in a situation of will this work. It's how do I do this well? How do I make sure I can navigate properly through the growth forward in a way where the things that I'm not aware of now are not going to be things that make this whole thing topple down. And you're not going to have to worry about things toppling down. You're prepared. It's just, what do you need to be prepared for? And maybe that is, again, now, maybe it's interesting that what you don't want is the Ace of Wands. It almost feels like you're in this position of wanting to push forward through this and to get to something new, something better, to build upon your previous ideas and make something even better from them. And you want to avoid what is unknown. It would almost, to me, feel like you would want the Ace of Wands as a guiding light to help you figure out how to process and perform all the things you need to do to complete this next new task. And maybe the reason that this is in your in this placement of concern is because, again, what you're concerned about is maybe the lack of this Ace of Wands. Maybe the idea here is that you know that you have a foundation to build upon. You know that you're going to have to let some things go, and you're seemingly receptive to that. But maybe you're a little bit concerned about. Maybe it's actually too a concern about a lack of passion going forward. You're in a very strong position of being able to accept change and adapt to new situations, even if they're unforeseen situations. But maybe you're worried that that's going to run out. Being prepared and ready for the future is one thing, but are you maybe going to get to a place where you're not maybe it's almost a lack of motivation and a lack of creativity about how to innovate. You know that you can innovate, you have the experience to be able to build off of previous things, but maybe there's almost a concern that it's not going to come to you. There will be some blockage. There will be a lack of an Ace of Wands here that's maybe keeping you from being able to go on this quest forward and figure out what you need to do with whatever this new opportunity is. But I feel optimistic that you will figure it out. I feel like you will be able to find this power and passion, this Ace of Wands that allows you to take this idea and fuel it and keep building and building forward to be successful with this next new chapter. That's the Nine of Cups up there, Nine of Discs up there, where you're going to be able to be successful in this particular project. Again, you're going to have to let things go, build on a strong foundation, have the confidence to believe in what you need to do going forward, and don't worry that you may or may not have the sort of passion to be able to continue through the dark periods of the situation. Just keep reflecting, let your thoughts and your emotions guide properly your path forward through this darkness of the moon, and don't be afraid. Also maybe this is a don't be afraid to try new things. Maybe the idea here is that you've built so much off of your past and your foundation of understanding what does and doesn't work. Maybe you are a little bit concerned about having to try and learn new tricks as you're going through whatever this new project is. But again, make sure that you're innovating on what you have done previously. Make sure you're using your mind constructively to build off of good foundations and get through this darkness. And don't be afraid to try new things in order to be able to find the success and gain come to make sure that you're able to try new things enough so that you can feel confident that the future vision you have for what you're going to be reaching is something that really is obtainable to you. You're going to be able to find a way to get through whatever this new project is, even if the next steps are a little unclear and what things to be working on may not always be immediately apparent to you. You'll know what things you need to let go of, and you'll know what things to work with, and you'll know what things you need to integrate and gain in order to be successful in this. So I feel good about that. Again, however this situation sort of makes sense to you, that'll probably help better color how these cards should sort of, resonate with your particular situation. So let's see what is on the bottom of the deck, what we don't see coming. So there we have the Nine of Swords. So yeah, okay, so if that's what we don't see coming, it does feel like we are almost a little worried about self-sabotage here. I think you are in a good position to be able to adapt and deal with this new situation, as I've already said, but you're going to need to refine and trust that, as you're presented with new things, that you're going to be able to integrate those in as well. You seem very well equipped to be able to let go and build off of the past, but again, the hardest thing I think is being able to take in new ideas, and maybe that is the hardest part of this growth forward, is being able to be receptive, not to things that you have to deal with, but things that you have to integrate into your workflow or your mode of thinking. It's the new things that I think that you're most afraid of, and they almost feel like these swords that are sitting above your head that you're you're going to have these new ideas come into you, and they almost feel like foreign objects attacking you. And, be receptive to that. Don't just be receptive to the need to let go. Be receptive to being able to take in as well, I think is the overall message of what I'm getting from here. So, all right, let's pull 3 cards from the shadow deck and see what we get. I hope this message is helpful for you. I hope you're getting something out of it. This was not the easiest reading for me, so as always, if nothing here is sort of making sense for you or not fitting, you can always leave it, try another placement, or maybe even come back to the message later and maybe it'll fit more with you at that point in time. But again, I'm seeing the ending of a chapter, a new opening here that's going to require letting go of past things and past emotions to be able to push forward, but you're well equipped for it. You've got good foundations, you're strong, you're powerful, you're adaptable, but don't be afraid to allow new things to sort of help you. Maybe you reach a point where you're stuck and the solution to the problem does not come from letting go or moving in some way that you have in the past, but trying something different and unique that you're not aware of. Don't let that feel like a horrible intrusive exercise. Be receptive to new openings is the vibe I'm getting here. Which I think you're confident, you're good to be able to do that. Just maybe it might not feel right immediately is kind of the vibe I'm getting. So all right, so from the shadow deck, we have the 2 of Wands, the 10 of Cups, and the Chariot. Okay, so in terms of what these cards, and we'll see what's on the bottom of this deck as well to get another confirmation of what may be coming. So in terms here of what is maybe in the background or how you're feeling about this situation, with the 2 of Wands, this is choice. So maybe in the previous situation that has led to this, you had to make some choice and let go of things, and now you're in this process of building off of your foundation for the new project. Maybe that came, the things that you're letting go are the things that you had to choose between, and maybe there is a little bit of regret here of what you let go or what you've lost in the past. But with a 10 of Cups ahead of you, or even in your present moment, whatever this new idea is, this new moment of clarity, even though there's a little bit of worry about what is unknown here, it seems to me very clear that the 10 of Cups is suggesting that this feels right to you. You made a choice, you let go of something, and you're not really worried about what you've let go of. I think you feel like you're on the right track here. You're headed towards the thing you want. You're headed towards at least your own personal success is the eye on the prize of what you're going towards seems very good. And your Chariot here is telling me that you feel emotionally motivated to work towards whatever that inevitable goal is, whatever it was that you wanted in your life. Maybe you were in something previously where you were feeling like you were on the wrong track, and now you're on the right track. You chose a path that required you to leave behind something else that just was no longer serving you. And although there is a little concern, it's short-term concern because you really are heading towards the thing you're meant to. The things that you do not need, you're going to let go of them. As this Chariot is moving forward in your life, the extra baggage that was held on, you're going to use the parts that are useful for you, and you're going to let go of the things that were not useful for you. And that's going to motivate this Chariot to move faster and faster towards whatever your goal is. But again, don't be afraid to let new things in. That's the only sort of blockage I'm really feeling from here is a little bit of concern about what's going to happen, but you feel like you're in a good place to deal with unknowns, except maybe things that are going to be new inspirational ideas that require you to shake up the way that you push forward. It's not, I think you're coming from a good place, but I'm feeling maybe a sense that you're kind of maybe stuck in your ways in terms of how you like to do things, and be receptive to new ways of trying things. I think is the sort of key here. I hope that makes sense. This is a little bit of a confusing reading, I'll admit, but hopefully it's helpful. And what you don't see coming from the shadow deck, we have the 4 of Spheres. So again, this is the good foundation. So I think any concerns, blockages that you're having, make sure you do lean on your knowledge, your previous foundation of what you know works, but integrate into what you know works new things that allow you to build forward on what works. The chariot, it needs a good, strong form to even build the chariot, but the chariot does have to move forward and try new things. And some of that is building off the past, but some of it comes from also integrating new things from the future. And don't let those new things from the future feel like they are at like external, unwelcome forces. Allow those things to make you even stronger rather than being things that you have to resist against. And I think you'll be in a good place. But yeah, like I said, this is not the clearest reading, but I hope this was helpful, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.